You had songs like Trap Queen, 679 and My Way that were hits, but maybe people thought you had all this money. Somebody got all the money, but I don't got it. I'll just leave it like that. I ain't never really get all that rap money, like masters and royalties and shit like that. DIY. Okay, DIYers. So, over the last few days, I have been seeing a lot of people telling me, yo, you got to go check out this interview. It is not a video, but it is text from an interview on XXL where they're speaking to Fetty Wap. This is one of the first tell-all interviews from prison where Fetty Wap is talking about a few different things, kind of like how he's been holding up because he's been in prison for the last 2 years. I for sure didn't think he was when I heard the Yam song. I thought he was out. He was singing like somebody that was free. Fetty Wap seemed to be living the hip-hop dream after building a successful career off hits like Trap Queen, then a drug trafficking arrest in 2021 derailed his life. In his first tell-all interview from prison, the New Jersey rapper gets candid about doing time and where he went wrong. 6 days after Fetty Wap dropped his project, The Butterfly Effect, in 2021, he was indicted and arrested on drug trafficking conspiracy. While the title of the rapper's efforts stem from the idea that smaller events may ultimately result in something with so much more significant consequences, coincidentally, he was experiencing in real time the harmful effects of his past actions. He and 5 other men were charged with conspiring to distribute and possess controlled substances, including cocaine, on Long Island, New York, and in New Jersey. How he got to this point may come as a shock. On the outside, Fetty Wap, 32 years old, appeared to be living the good life following the success of his 2014 breakout hit Trap Queen. Oh my God, that was such a humongous song. You could not get away from it. He was an anomaly, singing the way that he did, as well as he did, and it wasn't heavily reliant upon auto-tune. It was everywhere. The 2-time Grammy-nominated song is among 121 tracks in history that have been certified diamond. Whoa. Putting the Paterson, New Jersey native in an esteemed league of artists. Multi-platinum selling tracks like the Remy Boys assisted 679 and My Way. I'll get it mixed up with Usher, but yeah. Featuring Monty, both released on Fetty's 2015 self-titled debut album, which came out on 300 Entertainment. The money coming in didn't seem to balance what was going on. Fetty was racking up $150,000 in bills in a month. Ooh. I don't care how much money I make. $150 go missing in my bank account. I want to talk to somebody. I don't care it's Sunday. Somebody at the bank pick the phone up. Call International? Yeah, I will. If $150 is gone, I don't care how much money I make. I'm working on myself. I don't care how much money I make. $150 go missing. I want to fight. $150,000 though? Buying homes, apartments, jewelry, and cars were among the rap balladers' purchases. The sting of the pandemic halting live shows in 2020, I knew this was going to come up. Plus, family obligations as a father of 6 children who seemed to care for everyone around him led Fetty to start running drugs to re-up on his funds. Whoa. Eventually, he got caught up. Following his 2021 arrest and an initial not guilty plea, Fetty pleaded guilty to conspiracy to distribute 500 grams, or more of cocaine last August. In May of this year, he was sentenced to 6 years in prison and 5 years of post-release supervision. He's currently doing his bid at Federal Correctional Institution, Elkton in Ohio, where he called XXL from in October to speak for the first time from prison. So the interviewer asked Fetty Wap, what's helping you to pass the time on a daily basis in there? Do you read, work out? Fetty Wap said, yeah, I work out. You know, I just do the regular push-ups, pull-ups, dips, and squats. We don't got no weights in here though. I eat a lot and I write. I've been writing a lot. I don't want to spoil it, but I've been writing different things, like from trying to write a little book and write music, and I was trying to write a series for a TV show. Keep my mind occupied and just, staying off the negativity that goes on with all the politics. You know what I'm saying? How many songs do you have written? Do you have an album's worth of material right now? I've almost been down for 2 years. So I guess you could say I got a lot of music. I wrote a whole lot. I don't even know. I got like 3 notebooks full. So I guess whatever that is, that's a lot of music. You stay in touch with your family? Have there been any rappers that have supported you during this time? He said, rappers? Yeah, not a lot though. Industry niggas ain't your friends, they know how to pretend. 50 Cent, he reach out all the time. Coi Leray, that's the homie. She's from Jersey. I love Coi Leray, man. Chief Keef, they hit Instagram. You got Instagram? When I call my sister, she'll tell me like, oh, this person said this and this person said that. And I just relay the message back through her, through the phone. She'll hit them back for me. I could say like maybe 5 people that reach out. When you're hot, everybody want to get on the line with you. When you're not, wish you the best of luck. How does that make you feel that people are checking for you out here? I ain't gonna lie to you. I be feeling like people don't really fuck with me like that. You know what I'm saying? Being in here through the federal system, man, a lot of words travel. So you hear a lot of shit. Maybe real or maybe fake. The support system I see a lot of rappers got, I don't got that in here. You know what I'm saying? I handle all my shit on my own. I feel like I did some good things out there in the music world and I made a name for myself. Whether it be the old songs or not, I still made a lane for a lot of artists that came after me. I don't be feeling that respect in here. Other than that, I just be thugging it in here. You go to an industry which incentivizes rappers to speak to a certain lifestyle. That lifestyle attracts a certain energy to your shows, a certain energy that requires you to walk around with an entourage, security. While the getting is good, you got their support. The things that you're on an energetic level reminding yourself about, the mantras that you're giving yourself as you're repeating it, and you got to take responsibility as the writer for sure, and I think he does in this, those mantras get repeated in your head as you're creating these songs. Not only that, when you go on tour, you repeat these stories over and over again. We never talk about that though. Do you tell your children that you're incarcerated? How do those conversations go? Yeah, I don't lie to them. They know what's up. My baby boy about to be 6 years old and he already know. Daddy, when you come home from jail, I love my kids, man, because they just so different. They got their own personalities. It's just like, Daddy, I miss you. And I just explain to them like, Daddy made some bad decisions. And the best way I could explain it to the younger ones is more so like when they get in trouble or you can't use the iPad at certain times and stuff like that. I kind of explain to them like that. Like, Daddy is in adult timeout, you know? I explain it to the little one like that. But my older ones, they kind of already know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Some of the things that I think about really is being home. I take accountability for everything I did. I don't really be blaming nobody for nothing. It ain't nobody else's fault that I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Like, however it may have went down, whatever, like with the people and all that, basically just not standing tall. But at the end of the day, that's my fault for involving myself around people like that. You know what I'm saying? And putting your trust in the people that's not really real. That's not really who they say they is. My whole thing is like, man, just stop fucking with niggas. That's how I feel. I just reflect on some of the shit I did in the last few years. How I feel I could have took music a lot more serious than I did. And just like keep it to that route instead of this route. You know what I'm saying? I'm just grateful that I'm still here. I'm still breathing. I'm able to see some light at the end of the tunnel. He says, I'm around a lot of people that's already doing real lengthy sentences. Some of these dudes I be kicking in here with, some dudes got 50 years and 30 years. Some of them got life. One of my mans who I was in Brooklyn MDC with right now, he's facing 120 years and he's just smiling every day. We just be kicking it with each other. I be telling him about all the music experiences I have. I met a lot of genuine people in here. So, you know, they all like, yo, bro, when you get out, man, take that serious. Stop fucking around with your blessings before you end up losing it for good. During your sentencing this past May, you told the judge, I only ever wanted to help my family. I never asked myself if it was all the way right. Why was that important for you to say at the time? I mean, because it was true. It's all true. A lot of people don't say it to my face, but you know, I hear the rumors like, oh, he dumb as hell. He had the world in his hands and all this other shit. But people don't understand the shit I was going through with this music shit. And like I always say, I never fought no labels. I didn't fight 300. I signed them contracts. Nobody made me do it. Nobody forced me to do it. You know what I'm saying? When I put myself in that situation, I ain't really think for the long run. So he's talking about right now how his plan to pivot after the pandemic hit his pockets heavy, after his music wasn't generating nearly the amount of sales that it was at one point in time. He's talking now about his plan to start selling drugs. He says, I was thinking I could just run up a few $1 million and I'm gonna be good forever. I ain't never had no financial guidance and like a person to really guide me the right way. It was just like everybody just didn't care as long as they got their money. Let's stop here for a second. So many people who come to the defense of this traditional music industry, who talk about these executives that are just doing their job, these people who are put into position to change these rappers' lives, that are in charge of making sure that they have an artist runner or a PR or someone to help assist them in all of the business. You trying to tell me the people who are multimillionaires don't prioritize putting a financially responsible voice around a young artist, a young investment, beyond that just being fucked up, that's just bad business. And who's to say that he would even be open to it? Because we know some artists, when they hot, they ain't listen to all that shit. We always ask for the accountability from the artists, and rightfully so. We never ask for the accountability of those who are cutting the fucking checks and still collecting money today. He goes on to say, what's going on with you DIYers? Thank you so much for choosing to watch this video. One thing I want to give you a heads up of is that I just released my project called Storm Symphony with my good friend Aaron Barber. Why should you care? Because I know you didn't come here for my music. You probably came for the content. If you're a rapper or a music producer, there are added bonuses for you actually purchasing the album. If you're a producer, every sample that you hear that was composed originally by Aaron Barber, you will get a royalty-free pack of 10 melodic loops that you can use royalty-free for your beats to sell, your own music, and all that good stuff. Also, FL Studio has partnered with me to give out 5 copies of FL Studio for those of you that want to start off your production career. But Curtis, I don't know how to use FL Studio. How the hell would that benefit from that? Well, along with one of the other tiers, you're also going to get my FL Studio beginners course. So this is the way that I am incentivizing those of you that actually still buy music, because you know what? Fine art still sells. And I made some fine ass art on this project that I think you're gonna really, really enjoy. Make sure that you go to curtisking.com for more information. Now back to the video. So I'm like, F it. I'm gonna go back to do what I know how to do. Instead of pursuing my career harder or going harder to make people listen, man, I kind of was a coward. I'm falling off. He knew he was falling off in terms of the traditional industry, but he's like, I'm not finna look like I'm falling off. So to keep up looks, because we know that the record business is about image before it is about music, this is the train of thought. I can't let my family down. It wasn't for to be like, I'm outside, I'm really doing this shit for real. It was for none of that. So he's saying it wasn't because he wanted to like poke his chest out and be like, I'm really about that, like, it wasn't about none of that. I'm between a rock and a hard place where I gotta look like I'm making money, even though this $150,000 that's going out every single month is kicking my ass. Yeah, you could tell somebody like, you should have been wiser about your money. That's easy to say when you ain't got that money to play with. That's easy to say when you ain't got people around you that are telling you they got your better interests in mind, and they're bleeding you for things that you think are all important. If somebody's in charge of your administrative work and they tell you, hey, I need 10 racks a month in order to make sure that you get paid, how are you going to police their work unless you know how to do their work or have somebody that's going to manage what they're doing? Micromanage. I don't say this to have anybody feel bad for somebody like a Fetty Wap, because he's taken a lot of accountability. He called himself a coward many a times, but at the same time, I do look at that and be like, he can take accountability. But can anybody else in that environment who could have done better, who should have wanted to do better because this is your investment, could they take some of that too? He was like, man, I got a family. I'm never gonna let y'all fail. But if I gotta be away for however long, like, y'all gonna be good no matter what. Personally, I feel like I stuck to my word. I tell people all the time, I'm in jail, I'm locked up, but I'm not effed up. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking care of my whole family from jail still. That shit don't stop. I mean, what I was doing stopped. Let me clear that up. But he said, let me make sure I don't put the message out that I'm still out here dealing. Let me clear that up. But as far as taking care of my family, I found different outlets in here. Different people that helped me. It took him going to jail before he found somebody that can help him. Let that sizzle in your spirit for a second. It took him going to jail before he found somebody, after being in an industry where you're surrounded by a lot of successful people, or at least they look successful from the outside. It took him going to jail before someone was able to point him in the right direction of these things. And I am willing to assume that it's not just somebody on the outside who is directing his business affairs, but I'm willing to bet it may even be someone who's in the jail with him that just cares more than the people who were formerly employing him. It's unfortunate. Like I said, 50 Cent helped me a lot. I could see 50 Cent being the person that was like, I'm gonna help you out. So I've been in here just learning how not to be so impatient. I was so like, F it, I gotta get this money right now. I really feel like I was just a coward. This is where the most telling part of this whole conversation comes. The interviewer asked the question, from what the public didn't see, is it just bad business situations and contracts that kind of held you back? You had songs like Trap Queen, 679 and My Way that were hits, but maybe people thought you had all this money. But behind the scenes, because of business, he said, yeah, it wasn't like that. Somebody got all the money, but I don't got it. I'll just leave it like that. I made all my money from doing shows and tours and stuff like that. And really the reason why I'm here. I ain't never really get all that rap money, like masters and royalties and shit like that. Wow. What message would you like to send to the fans? If I could say anything, man, anybody that really pays attention to me, man, like, choose a different life. This shit is whack. I hate being here. I hate being away from my children. I like to drive. I like to enjoy myself. And I can't do the one thing I love more than anything else, and that's record music. I'm on they time, count time, gotta get up. You gotta do what they say, cause you don't got no control in here. This shit ain't for the weak in here. You gotta be strong-minded in here and go through this stuff. If I could say anything, man, if you got the right way to do it, choose the right way, cause the wrong way, you never know what could happen. That's really like the realest I could put that shit, honestly. I know that was a lot to read, but I wanted to honor this brother's words because he spoke very candidly. Damn, there was some yachties out there. My bad. For those that got kids watching this. I can't say that I've been in situations where I would go that dire about taking care of my family, but it doesn't sound crazy at the same time, especially when your focus is in many different places, some of which it shouldn't be, right? Caring about keeping up with the Joneses when you're no longer in the tax bracket of the Joneses. But with somebody like Fetty Wap, I think that because he has a singing voice that he can actually sing and utilize live, there's going to always be more of a necessity from him. You can find a rapper anywhere. But when you have the ability to sing like him, you have the ability, like you have an image that is very recognizable. The fact that he has the impairment in one eye, like he has the dreads, like I could see, I know Fetty, that's Fetty Wap. That's Fetty Wap. There's no confusing him with nobody else. You ain't gonna confuse him with a nigga at Burlington. For somebody who had all those things working for him, I think you're gonna always have a longer life source because you never know how somebody like a Kanye is random like that. He'd bring in a Fetty Wap to sing on a hook with Ty Dolla $ign. All of a sudden, we care the same way we did when Trap Queen came out. It's unfortunate that he was in a headspace where he felt like, damn, can't lean on the music industry because the music industry then took all my damn money. Don't know who to trust because $150,000 of my money every month is already accounted for. What is it going to look like when I have to wear things more than once? How will I be judged by people who don't really care about the music as much as they care about the image? How do I keep that up if that's part of the business model? Who do you go to? I'm not saying that selling drugs was the solution, but I get when you're between a rock and a hard place, how you could make a very unwise decision. Doesn't justify it, doesn't make it right, but I do give him the utmost respect for owning that shit, because you got a lot of knuckleheads out here that's at the top of the rap game who they couldn't smell accountability if you stuck it in their nostrils. To hear that from him gives me a lot of hope that when he comes out, one, folks like the 50 Cents of the world may have acting roles for him because, 50 Cent owns his own TV production. It gives me hope that those 6 babies that he got at home that missed they pops, that he could make a way for himself. I just pray and I hope, just as someone that's a fan of his music, that's a stranger, I hope that when he comes out into the space, he goes independent. I hope that this time in there is helping him to see a perspective that maybe he wasn't able to see because of the proximity bias that occurs when you're too close to the issue. I hope that when he gets out, all this growth that we're hearing continues. But man, who knows? Who knows when you get around these knuckleheads and they convince you that this is the only way to do it? Who knows what that's going to look like? But I have hope for him, man, and I want to see him do well. With that said, though, that's my thoughts on that one, DIYers. What are your thoughts? DIYers, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Come on, man. Stop being greedy. Peace.